All throughout history, pyramids seem to be a commonly constructed building of the ancient times across many different cultures from around the world. Given their age, this has left a lot of them shrouded in mystery as to what their true purpose is or how they were constructed within a short space of time, along with a number of other strange theories that surround them. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 fascinating pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Cholula. Located in Cholula, Puebla, Mexico, the Great Pyramid of Cholula is one of the largest pyramids by volume in the entire world. Its base is 4 times larger than the Great Pyramid at Giza in Egypt, standing 450 meters wide and 66 meters tall. In the Nahuatl language, it translates to man-made mountain. Not much is known about it, so many generations had passed since its construction that the pyramid was hidden by vegetation and believed to be only a hill by the Cortéz and his men. They settled in the city of Cholula and built their own church on top of it, failing to realize that it was a sacred pyramid. It wasn't until the 20th century that locals discovered the pyramid. As it turned out, it wasn't just one pyramid but 6, all nested on top of each other. It had probably been 1,000 years old by the time the Spaniards arrived. Every stage of civilization in that area had continued to occasionally build upon the site and improved the previous generation's work. Researchers hypothesize that its construction began around 300 BC as a way to appeal to the god Quetzalcoatl, or the feathered serpent. There are reliefs and drawings throughout the structure of serpents. Ultimately, they believe that construction was finally abandoned between the 7th and 8th century CE, as population size rapidly decreased and newer temples were built within the city. Over time, the jungle grew to surround it, therefore hiding it from the Spaniards' view. The pyramid, surprisingly, is built out of adobe bricks. Mud was mixed with sand or ceramic and left to bake in the sun until it became a hardened block. They then smothered the outer bricks down with more earth until it was a paintable surface on which they drew colourful insects, skulls, and other symbols. Despite the humidity in Mexico, the base foundation has remained strong, allowing excavations without needing support beams set up. Skeletons have been found inside the pyramid and in the immediate surrounding areas, suggesting it was used as a burial site for some ethnic groups. Clay figurines, musical instruments, and tools were also found. Interest in this pyramid has always waxed and waned in favour of other structures, despite its rich pre-Hispanic history. Excavation teams occasionally received funds to explore, but primarily for the purpose of making it into a sort of attraction. It is for this reason that the pyramid is still mostly unknown and unstudied today. Its condition makes it difficult to reconstruct the site to what it once was, making it a low priority for governments. The church sitting on top of the pyramid has such a historic and religious significance to the local population. It is a Catholic pilgrimage site and used for indigenous celebrations. Due to its importance as a colonial monument, the pyramid underneath has not been properly excavated. Only 5 miles or so have been uncovered by archaeologists. It receives almost 250,000 visitors every year and is considered the main attraction in Cholula, as you can wander through the tunnels and visit the museum to see all of the artifacts they have found so far. The Pyramid at El Mirador. El Mirador, located in El Petén, Guatemala, is an ancient site of the pre-Columbian Maya civilization. It translates as the viewpoint or the lookout and sits in the middle of a thick, untouched jungle in the Mirador Basin. It is surrounded by swamps, which the Maya took mud from to create terraces for their farming. The Mirador Basin is about 3 times larger than downtown Los Angeles and houses multiple cities and temples, the largest of which is El Mirador. Researchers consider it to be the oldest and largest Maya site in the entire world. There are 2 pyramids, El Tigre and La Danta, the latter being one of the largest ones in the world. First surveyed in the late 1800s, it took nearly 100 years later for a detailed investigation to finally begin. From 1978 to 1983, American archaeologists studied the site and its surrounding geology to create detailed maps and learn about the geography. They were surprised to find that its construction was not similar to other Maya sites in the area. Instead, it seemed to align with pre-classic era styles, which led them to realize just how old and important the site was. It wasn't until 2003 that thorough investigations began, once again led by an American archaeologist. The pyramids in El Mirador were constructed in sections and built to house temples. They were first constructed with stone and then decorated with stucco that depicted Mayan gods and goddesses. Their positioning within the civilization perhaps relates to astronomy and solar alignments. Archaeologists believe the city to be planned, stressing an importance on sacred positionings. The lead archaeologist of the Mirador Basin project, Richard Hansen, believes that the nearly 50 sites in the basin were part of one of the earliest political states found in Mesoamerica. Some of the world's first freeways can be seen at El Mirador, as they used white causeways to link the different cities within the basin. Researchers concluded that El Mirador first began construction in the 6th century BCE, up until the 1st century CE. It went through periods of construction work and hiatus as generations passed. They believe that although there were probably hundreds of thousands in population, the inhabitants eventually left due to deforestation destroying the swamps and blocking off access to the prized mud, and then finally abandoned once the Maya civilization came to an end. There is almost no other information on the site, as excavations only recently began. It is in such a remote place, so it was forgotten for some time until harvesters stumbled upon it and reignited the desire to explore it. Despite 2 decades of excavation, only a small portion of the structures have been investigated. The Pyramid of Menkauri. As the third and smallest of the main pyramids at Giza, the Pyramid of Menkauri is believed to have been constructed as a tomb for the 4th dynasty pharaoh Menkauri. Its ancient name and hieroglyphics translate to Menkauri is divine. It originally reached a height of 65.5 meters, with a base of 102.2 by 104.6 meters, but currently stands tall at 61 meters and is built out of limestone and Aswan granite. Menkauri's reign as pharaoh was either not properly recorded or has yet to be uncovered by historians. They don't know exactly what years he reigned over the Upper and Lower Egypt. Therefore, the time of construction is almost unbeknownst to us, although archaeologists believe it was completed sometime in the 26th century BC. Despite the mystery and small size of the pyramid, it provides researchers with some of the best displays of sculpture in Egyptian history. The temple was first excavated in the early 1900s by American archaeologist George Reisner. He discovered many statues of Menkauri, as well as inscriptions, and concluded that Menkauri's successor, his son Shepseskav, completed the construction of the temple after his father passed away. One of the most famous statues is of a dyad of the king and his queen, which is now on display in a museum in Boston. 2 stelae found within the temple date to the 6th dynasty, 2 centuries after him passing away, and suggest that there was a cult centered around the pharaoh. The people still actively went to the temple for worship and even rebuilt it almost to its entirety after a flood damaged it. The Pyramid of Menkauri is surrounded by 3 smaller satellite pyramids, only one of which is actually completed, while the Pyramid of Khafre and the Great Pyramid of Khufu lie a few hundred meters northeast. The chambers within this pyramid are much more complex than the other ones. They are carved with decorative panels and niches and are lined with giant granite blocks. The blocks that made up the walls were found by archaeologists to weigh more than 200 tons. In 1837, British soldiers examined the antechamber of the pyramid and discovered human bones within a clay coffin that had Menkauri's name on it. However, radiocarbon dating determined the bones to be younger than 2,000 years. Historians believe it to be a substitute coffin, either as a deterrent or simply remains from another site. Another sarcophagus was discovered further into the pyramid, this one containing the remains of a woman. A black sarcophagus, believed to be Menkauri's, was also discovered. Both sarcophagi, unfortunately, were lost on the voyage back to England through the Mediterranean Sea. In the late 12th century, the son and heir of Saladin, the creator of the Ayyubid dynasty and first sultan of Egypt and Syria, decided to destroy the pyramids. He began with the pyramid of Menkauri, but soon found that it was more expensive to destroy the pyramid than it was to build one. Workers had difficulty breaking apart and dislodging the stones. They were only able to remove at most 2 a day. They eventually ceased their wasted efforts, which is why there is now a vertical slash seen in the northern face of the pyramid. But what do you make of these 3 interesting pyramids? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.